समझ नहीं आ रहा अपने सैलरी इंक्रीमेंट का क्या करूं।
बेटा इतना क्या सोच रहा है? अपने म्यूचुअल फंड्स के एसआईपी का टॉप अप करा ले। दिस इज द राइट टाइम।
क्या समझ में नहीं आया?
बेटा इतना क्या सोच रहा है? अपने म्यूचुअल फंड्स का एसआईपी टॉपअप करा ले। दिस इज द राइट टाइम।
अब समझा।
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
RSS General Secretary Dattatreya Hosabale's demand for a review of words socialist and secular in the preamble of our constitution has fired the imagination of BJP leaders. But before I talk about that, let me remind you about the subscription to ThePrint to keep our journalism going. Subscribers get loads of benefits like special newsletters, opportunity to write for us in your turn section, and to speak to our reporters and editors in Ask Me Anything and more. Now let me come to what Hosabale said. So last week he demanded a review of the emergency era inclusion of socialist and secular in the preamble. He was careful in framing his demand though. He said that these ideas might have been part of governance and state policy, but they were not part of the original constitution. He further elaborated that these changes were made in the constitution when the parliament was ineffective, the judiciary was crippled, and citizens' rights were suspended. We at ThePrint supported Hosabale's demand editorially, and I quote here, "Ideological debates apart, constitutional amendments from an illegitimate emergency era parliament in its 6th year have no sanctity." Unquote. That was the Print's 50-word edit, which also said that all the remnants of the 42nd Amendment, not just those 2 words, should go in their entirety. The emphasis was on the illegitimate parliament. In 1976, the 42nd Amendment to the Constitution not only added these 2 words to the preamble, socialist and secular, but also introduced changes in 40 articles and the 7th schedule while adding 14 new articles. Many of these changes are still in the Constitution. Among many remnants of the 42nd Amendment today are fundamental duties, fulfillment of which should be the first priority of citizens, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has repeatedly said. To cite another example, the 42nd Amendment also transferred 5 subjects from the state to the concurrent list: education, forests, weights and measures, administration of justice, and protection of wild animals. States should love to get the exclusive lawmaking powers in these subjects back. From Vice President Jagdeep Dhankhar to Union Ministers Shivraj Singh Chauhan and Jitendra Singh, Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma, and his Maharashtra counterpart Devendra Fadnavis, everybody jumped in to support and carry forward Hosabale's demand for a review of those 2 words in the preamble. It was understandable. After all, Hosabale is a putative successor of RSS Sarsangchalak Mohan Bhagwat. The Sangh Parivar circles are already abuzz with the speculation about the Sangh chief, about the RSS chief's decision when he turns 75 in September. Bhagwat must be curiously watching the BJP leaders' enthusiastic reactions to Hosabale's observation. Bhagwat, in fact, may be wondering, why don't they react the same way when I talk about the DNA of the Hindus and the Muslims being the same? Or when I say there is no need to look for a shivling in every mosque? Anyway, in their enthusiasm to support Hosabale's demand for the review of words socialist and secular, BJP leaders end up undermining the party's own constitution. Let's leave Dhankhar out in this context because he is not a BJP leader today, not technically at least. But how come top BJP leaders don't seem to remember what their party constitution says? Article 2 of the BJP constitution, on the very first page, says that the party shall bear true faith and allegiance to the principles of socialism, secularism and democracy. How can leaders who are bound by the party constitution to bear allegiance to socialism and secularism want the same words to be removed from the preamble of India's constitution? Socialism and secularism are obviously ideas that BJP leaders are ready to neither gulp down nor throw out. That explains the party's rather clumsy attempt to come up with its own versions. Article 4 of the BJP constitution says, the party shall be committed to positive secularism, that is, Sarv Dharm Sambhava. The BJP's 5 nishthas or 5 guiding principles include a commitment to Gandhian socialism, which it defines as a Gandhian approach to socio-economic issues, leading to the establishment of a Samras Samaj, free from exploitation. In the Our Philosophy section on BJP's official website, the party says, secularism, a leitmotif of Indian politics, has been distorted beyond recognition. Secularism had emerged in the West as a reaction to clashes between papal control of politics. It talks of separation of the state and the church. In India, neither was there theocracy ever, nor can it be in future. Indian culture is a culture of equal respect for all religions. It can be translated as Sarv Panth Sambhava or Panth Nirpaksh. I'm quoting from the BJP website. It adds, and bear with me, I'm again quoting, unfortunately in India, secularism has been reduced to minority appeasement, that too at the cost of majority. This is what Sri Lal Krishna Advani called pseudo-secularism. When we say Ramaraj or Dharmaraj, we mean an ethical governance based on rule of law of the constitution. It is not linked to any faith or way of worship. Unquote. I'm quoting from the BJP's official website. What I'm driving at here is that they are talking about their versions of secularism or socialism. They are not completely rejecting it. So their objection to the presence of these words in the preamble run contrary to what their own party constitution says. Now let's look at what PM Modi has to say on secularism, given that his government is already more socialist than many in the past. On 20th of April 2014, Modi tweeted, and I quote, "We are secular not because the word was added in our constitution. Secularism is in our blood. We believe in Sarv Panth Sambhava," unquote. That was weeks before he became the Prime Minister. And this is what he said a decade later in 2024. And I quote, "Modi guarantees 100% benefits of schemes to 100% beneficiaries. That is true social justice. That is true secularism." Again, the point I was driving at, that BJP leaders never really rejected these two ideas completely. They have been talking about their own interpretations or their own understanding of these two ideas. The more you hear and read about BJP leaders' stance on secularism and socialism, the more you get confused about where they stand. It's unlikely that Dattatreya Hosabale's push for a review of the preamble, even though backed by many union ministers and chief ministers, would lead to any follow-up. Not just because the Supreme Court has already upheld these changes. Most NDA constituents will not come on board on this issue. The Lok Janshakti Party of Chirag Paswan has already opposed any such move. Unless and until PM Modi or Union Home Minister Amit Shah breaks their silence on the preamble review, the current debate is likely to be confined to Hosabale and those who want to ingratiate themselves with him and the RSS leadership. Modi and Shah should, however, think of amending the BJP's constitution. Not just to clear the ambiguities, rather doublespeak, on the BJP's stand on socialism and secularism. The bigger reason for an immediate amendment is that the BJP's constitution is increasingly looking irrelevant and outdated in the Modi-Shah era. Let me cite just one instance, the most glaring one today. The BJP constitution says no post will remain vacant for more than 6 months. The party's national president's post has been vacant for exactly a year. The BJP National Executive had given the then BJP President JP Nadda, mind you, I am using the term then. It had given the then BJP President JP Nadda an extension till June 2024. Neither the National Council, nor the National Executive, nor the Parliamentary Board gave him another extension after that. That's why I'm saying this post is vacant. Could it be that the Parliamentary Board met to give him another extension and nobody got to know about it? Well, it may sound absurd, but one cannot rule out anything about Modi-Shah's BJP today. But if that were to happen, why would the BJP not announce it officially? For Nadda's sake at least, he would definitely hate to be seen as an unauthorized occupant of the national president's post. It's quite possible that Modi and Shah verbally asked Nadda to continue in the post until they sort out the issue of his successor with the RSS. Nobody should have any objection. After all, Modi is BJP and BJP is Modi. He has delegated his authority to Amit Shah, his man Friday. It does not matter what the BJP constitution says. It is not above the winning combo, is it? I'll end on this note. Thanks for watching.